Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Man United Agenda. And tonight is Monday night. And what is Monday night, guys?
Studs up!
Studs is up and is sharpened. So, guys, before we start, if you're watching the content, please like, please share, please subscribe. We are the Man United Agenda. You got Mr. B. You got a Monday. Hello, guys. I hope you had a brilliant day. And guess what?
What?
If Manchester United and the Glazers weren't tight, these are the players who are playing in Euros. Quote, surprise one in the package for us, but also, if we could afford them, we will go out and would win the Premier League. Right. So, guys, it was listen, everyone's choice is absolute brilliant, and I would take all 9 players that we've all chosen, but unfortunately we might have to just narrow it down just to 3 players. So if you're watching out there, please get involved. Please let us know, do you agree with Mr. B, do you agree with on Monday, or do you agree with Solo 7? So who should we start this round robin with? Let's go with Mr. B. You're right at the top. So let's go with you and your choices. Can you explain to us, give us the name of the players, the reason why you've picked them, and the reason why you believe they could settle in and eye test. Yep, I like it. The eye test to see whether or not they could fit in Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's system at the club, and also how well they're doing in the Euros, or how well not they're doing in Euros. Okay, so Mr. B, your choice of players.
Right. My first one is Denzel Dumfries. My second one is Manuel Locatelli.
What?
And my third is Serge Gnabry.
Woo!
Excellent choice. Big boy choices. Those are absolutely choices. So
my God.
Let's start off with Mr. B with the first one. Dumfries. What? Oh, come on, man. What? That's a choice. That's a good pick.
You're in the wrong job, man. You should be scouting. That's a good choice. Honestly, good choice. Good choice.
Listen, I'm not going to act like I knew who he was before the Euro, so let's not get it twisted, yeah? But I think he has been impressive at right back. We're talking about Man United. The rumour is we're looking at Trippier. This is a player who's playing for PSV. No money. You know, how much, Dutch players, they don't cost that much. He got sold. When they bought him, how much did they pay for him? £5 million. They paid for him from Herenveen 3 years ago.
Yeah.
He's market now 15, 20 million maybe. The only sticking point, the one sticking point, guess who his agent is?
No way.
Yeah, it is.
His agent.
Yes,
Yeah.
is Mina Raiola.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So that could be an issue. His contract expires 2023.
Yes.
You know, that's only 2
2
years. That's something to look at. His appearances so far in the Euros, 2 appearances, well, 2.5 he played today, 2.5 appearances, 2 goals, 2 assists. And he's only played 2.5. So, you know, this is a player who I'm thinking, okay, could maybe do something. They've played him as he normally plays in a 4, but they've started, obviously, De Boer's changed his formation this period here in the Euros, and he's playing as a 5, but he's getting up the pitch, man, and I think he would be a really, really good addition to our squad. Next one.
Sorry, how old is he?
He is 25.
He's in prime, coming to his prime.
Yeah, he's coming into his peak. He knows his position, you know. So I'm thinking, okay, Dutch, maybe last season he played 30 games, 2 goals, 6 assists. Season before, 25 games, 7 goals, 2 assists. Season before that, 34 games, 4 goals, 6 assists. So he's a right back who can create. Obviously, we don't know how good he is defending, but you never know. You never know. That's somebody who's popped into my head.
Very good.
My next one, Serge Gnabry.
I was looking forward to this one.
I like Serge Gnabry. Obviously, he was at that small club in North that one in North Woolwich. Obviously, you know, they see talent, can't nurture talent. The talent pisses off and wins stuff. But look, that's just that's their philosophy. That's what they do. But I think he's been very impressive. I think he's been very, very impressive so far. He hasn't scored, obviously. Fine, I take that. He hasn't assisted, but I think he in a different sort of way, he's causing a lot of trouble. Last season for Bayern, obviously he's a Bayern player, so maybe this isn't somebody who we really, really have a chance to get. But 27 games last season, 10 goals, 3 assists. Season before, 31 games, 12 goals, 11 assists.
Woo.
Season before that, 30 games, 10 goals, 5 assists. So that's a player who I feel, obviously, it might not be Ollie who would be coaching him after Christmas, but he would be somebody who I think, if we weren't interested in Jadon Sancho, that would be somebody who I think could be a potential. I mean, they paid at the moment his market value is probably 63 million, so maybe that's not somebody who we would be looking at. But I like him. Bayern Munich, obviously, Bayern Munich only let players go who are past their sell-by date or there's really big issues. And I can't see Gnabry. He's been there 3 years. So maybe that wasn't quite the one, but I like what he's been doing. My third one is somebody who I feel that we could, if they took the United Agenda's advice. CDM, this is his role, this is his position, this is what he does. You know, 23 years old, that's the price, that's the age range that we'll be looking at. He's playing for Sassuolo.
Yep. You try saying that.
You know, who are they really? They're not on a Man United level. The only issue I have at the moment, I'm hearing that Arsenal are sniffing around him. So maybe that's a bullshit, maybe it's not, but I think those are the kind of players that we should be looking at. CDM, that's his role. We no longer have to be playing 2 players in one. We can then move it over. Maybe we need to be not looking at the Ndidis because everybody knows about him. I want somebody to come to United who slightly below that bar, you know, that we can make or take to that level or become a greater player with us. So I think those are my 3. Whether or not it would happen is very, very debatable. But I think the Dumfries one, you never know. I mean, he's a lot cheaper than the money they're quoting for Trippier at the moment. Serge Gnabry, absolutely no chance. He's at Bayern Munich and they're not going to let their decent players go. But the one who I feel that if they push the boat out for, we could probably get Locatelli. Those are my 3.
Whoa, that was immense. That was immense.
Can I change my list? Wow. You know what, Mr. B, in all honesty, like I was considering 2 of those players that you mentioned in Locatelli and the right back. They did cross my mind when I was selecting. They've been outstanding on the eye, you know. And yeah, that's a great choice. If you came back with a scout report to Man United with that, you know, we'd be going places, I'm sure. And a great summary as well. Really broke it down brilliantly. I like that a lot.
So obviously we know you're saying about Bayern, and Bayern don't really and truly let players go until their sell-by date. That was a steal, really, when he came from Arsenal. Absolute steal.
He didn't go direct. He didn't go direct.
No, he didn't. I think, did he go loan or something?
Werder Bremen, I think we ended up in Germany.
I think he did a year at Werder Bremen. He did a year on loan at Stoke. And then even Pulis, the idiot, was saying that he ain't
good enough.
A player. He came back to Arsenal for a year, went Herenveen, and then Bayern Munich picked him up for, I think it's 12.6 mil. So,
oh my God,
peanuts. So, guys, if you're liking the content and you like Mr. B's selection, please drop your comments below. We will be giving you every single person's selection. You pick your 3, and we'll call out the person. Well, everyone's who's got their free selection. So, before we go further, let's do some comments, really.
Okay, yeah. So we've got a few comments in the house. I'd like to say hi to Mr. K.
Hello, Mr. K.
How you doing, Mr. K? It's kind of like Mr. B. Nice ring to it. I like that. But he's an Arsenal supporter.
Believe so.
Yes. Is that Arsenal?
Welcome to Gemma, our favorite.
Hello, Gemma. Welcome.
Funny as hell. We got Rich Sports is in the house. And Rich
Hello,
Sports is saying Harry Kane, the name we don't mention.
Rich, you never know. You never know, Rich. I might have my selection. Kane might be in it.
And Mr. K, after listening to Mr. B's selection, he said it's excellent. We all agree. He said mainly because it doesn't include Kane, which they can't afford. Top club only, that player. You know, I don't know about those comments, but yeah, I agree with excellent the selection.
That's brilliant.
We've got Ethan here in the house. Hi,
hello, Ethan.
Mr. K again. Arsenal sniffing around players like Spurs have been after, like Sabitzer. He's been playing well for Austria. One of our in-house guys, OS, says, "Don't worry about Arsenal. They compete with Leeds and Wolves." And Big Phil, he's saying, Big Phil. He says, Aston Villa outbidding Arsenal these days, so not too worried.
Wow.
Leeds will be competing with Leicester, says Rich Sports. Not bad shout from Mr. B. Yeah,
brilliant shout.
We're all nodding out here. All right, Mr. K.
Mr. K's on it.
Yeah.
So, guys, after Mr. B, should I do it now and should I live up to the expectation? I've actually got a wild card in mind who hasn't featured in the Euros at all, but he's in the squad.
That's illegal.
Well, you know, this is
You've been holding that. I've been asking you guys to let me know, show me the list.
Yeah, this is studs up. So because it's studs up, then, you know, we have to do studs up style.
Oh my gosh.
We're Man United. We should be able to afford all these players.
Where's Jules Koundé? Where's he playing?
He's playing on the bench at the moment. He's playing on the bench.
What bench?
I'm not going to be funny though. I'm not going to be funny. Man United can't buy a play with here like that. Look at the
let's start with Koundé then. Let's start with him then. So let's kickstart with him. I have got to put myself on solo. Oops, mute myself. I got to put myself.
Let's put solo
on solo screen. When did it start to work? I've frozen you at the moment. I'm trying to put myself on solo screen.
I'm not solo.
I know. I'm trying to put myself on solo screen. It's not letting me put myself on solo screen. So, for me, Jules Koundé, for me, last season for Sevilla, he hasn't featured for France, but he's just a player. I believe Man United should go out there and absolutely, not say break the bank for him, but he's a player that I think would give us a bit more sustainability at the back. Age 22. So when we talk about players on here, and again with Mr. B selection, a lot of the players, they are very young. So I'm looking for players who are young, thriving, haven't even hit their peak as yet. But right now, the condition and the way he plays, how calm he's on the ball, no rash decision, can read the game properly. So last season, he made 34 appearances for Sevilla. He scored 2 goals. He assisted 1. Combination for the whole sort of entire time he's been there. He's played 49 games and scored 4 goals and assisted 1 goal for them. He's a centre-back. He can play right centre or he can play on the left of centre as well. Normal feet is right-footed. His preferable foot is right-footed. Average game he plays is a 6.5% average game, which when you look at the percentages of going back to like Lindelof, Bailly and those guys, average they're playing is roughly about 5.55 to 6 at maximum they're playing. He doesn't start well. He hasn't started for France as yet in the Euros, but I believe I don't think he will start because France need to win their next game to secure qualification. But he is a player that I would sit there, and Mr. B's taking the mickey out of his hairstyle. Don't worry about it, man. That's extra 2 inch you're giving him on top of it for the headers. Player very calm, and when you watch him as well, he's a leader. And I think that's what Man United are lacking at the moment. True leaders. You got Harry Maguire. And if we can bring him into the club, he's a true leader. Harry Maguire get injured, he can take the lead rather than us relying on like Lindelof or Bailly, who isn't really and truly Man United standards whatsoever. So he's my first pick. Don't know if anyone agrees with me there. So he's my first pick.
Yeah, we all agree.
So my next one, and he's going to be a player. I don't even think we'll even get him, to be honest with you, and that's De Jong.
Yeah. Top draw.
What a player. What a player he is. And he's made 2 appearances so far for Holland in the tournament. I watched him the other day. I watched him in that game. It was 3-2 game, and he was just outstanding. He was quality. Yep. He can play. He's a central midfield player, but not only is a central midfield player, he can actually play in loads of positions. And I think the positions we need players like this to play in. So he can play as a attacking midfield. He can play as a CDM, defensive midfield. He can even play at centre back.
Yeah.
Centre back. Go break the bank and bring him. He can play everywhere. Everywhere he can play. He can play centre back. And what do we need desperately right now? Centre back. But not only that, he can take this place of Fred and Scott and Lindelof together. Yeah. He can take it. Yeah. He can cover 3 places. Yeah. And he'll be better than all 3 of those players.
Wow. Yeah, man.
Yeah. So for me, 37 games last season he played for Barcelona, 3 goals, 4 assists. Altogether combined since he's been at Barcelona, he's played 51 games, 7 goals, 8 assists. I don't know what you guys think, but those stats, and if anyone ever tried to come and tell me Scott's to have better stats than him or Fred's got better stats than him, don't know football.
Exactly.
And do you see how calm he is? He's a ball player. He's a true Dutch player. He carries the ball well. He's not slow. He's got speed as well. As I said, he can use predominantly, he's a left foot, but he can use his right feet as well. And he makes the football look so simple. Now, his asking price right now, if you were to go and buy him right now, unfortunately, we're looking at about 80 to 90 million, and that's because he's at Barcelona. But Barcelona need money. Why can't we as Man United go out there and spend the money and bring this player in rather than sitting there wasting all this time sitting there again? We're talking about players like Ndidi. We're talking about Declan Rice, 100 and something million for Declan Rice. Yeah. This guy is 24 years old. Mm. He's 24 years old and he's still got a lot of talent to show. The minute he's 27, 28, he's going to be like up there with the greatest midfield. I'm not going to say he's going to be up there with Xavi, Iniesta, and them guys at Barcelona, but he's going to be up there with those great players. So for me, he is my second pick.
You know what? Fantastic. I'm really, really impressed with Frankie. Big up, bruv. Big up.
Oh. And my next one is a player I think, listen, Man United should do everything they can do to get this player. I don't know whether or not you're going to agree with me, but Mr. B is going to be upset with me. Sell Fred. Sell Fred. Get rid of Fred. I'm sorry. Get rid of Fred.
Yeah.
Then after Fred, we get rid of Fred. Guess what? Get rid of Martial as well. We don't need him. Officially, we do not need him. There's a guy that plays for Real Sociedad. He plays for Sweden. And his name, if I pronounce it right, is Isaac.
Yep.
Okay. 21 years old. 21 years old. 21 years old.
Yeah.
We could go out there. We could get this guy for about 50 million. 50 million we can go and get this guy for. He then can, if you like him to, centre forward. He can also drift on the right-hand side. He can also drift on the left-hand side as well. He's 21 years old. He's made in La Liga. Mr. B, I hope you're listening. Please listen. Clean them ears out. Real Sociedad last season, 34 games, 17 goals. Earache. Yeah, earache. Since it's been total, so we're talking about last season. In a total of 44 games he played, he scored 17 goals and assisted 2. Very intelligent player, yeah, for his age. Good attribute, good technician he is as well. Very effective, and going forward, defenders are scared of him. I'm not sure if you watched the game where Sweden won 1-0 it was. They scored a penalty. And he was running ragged. He was making the defense look stupid. He was taking 2-3 and the close control, how he controls the ball, and he was a maneuver around. Oh, he was quality. Now, Gary Lineker was so surprised and so taken back with him. I don't know if you see Gary Lineker's quote, but Gary Lineker was saying people need to sign him up soon as. Yeah. Because right now at Real Sociedad, at his age, you can get him for anything between believe it's about 40 million you can pick him up for. Roughly 40 million, yeah. So far in the Euros, he's played 2 games, 1 man of the match already, 1 man of the match. He ain't scored, but his average gameplay is 8%, yeah. So we're talking out of 10, he gets 8. Wow. Yeah. So when it comes to people like trying to tell me Martial's intelligent, I like Martial, I'm not going to deny it. But this guy's 21 years old. Martial's been at Man United for 5 years. And he's only had 6 years, and he's got 1 good season at Man United. 1 good season. This guy has been in La Liga, yeah, for 1.5 seasons. And already his stats, his goal ratio is better than Martial already. That's all I got to say. Breathe.
Delivered. Well delivered.
You're picking my guy, man. Leave him alone.
Yeah.
Wow.
Mr. K says Isaac is sick. That means brilliant, I suppose. Yeah.
Yeah.
He ain't got no virus. And also, Mr. K says De Jong, buy him already, but does that mean we made a mistake buying Van de Beek? He's a better version of Van de Beek. Look, I'm in shock. Your selections are brilliant, man. We knew about Koundé already, but Frankie de Jong, I would never even dream of trying to sign him because he's at Barca. But he's a fantastic player. I think he will be one of the best players in the world if he's not already in that position. Yeah. You can't get the ball of him. He's got this little skill where he chop, and he just dribbles. He's so tight, like Grealish in a way, Yeah. Brilliant player, awareness everywhere, everything. He's just got it all.
But again, it's the same thing with him. When you watch Holland the other day, and I was watching him play, and I was watching him quite closely because I like the way Holland play. I do like it. I like the armor. I watch him play, and I think to myself, when he plays for them guys, he plays so much better than that for Liverpool. But it's a little tricky, like you said, it's just to drop the shoulders. And when he drops the shoulders, it's all it gets in the little. And when you look at him as well, both footed as well, can use the ball intelligently with both feet, beating a man, looking when to pass, picking the passes out at the right time. If we could sign a player like something right now, like I said, we could sell Scott, we could sell Fred, we can even sell friggin' Lindelof, Bailly, and he cover all the spaces and he cover all of them.
And you know what? I'm sold. I'm sold. But Mr. K is saying, defo grab Isaac, man, but just leave Kane alone. Sorry, you're an And Anthony says, hi, I'm Andy and Solo. And
hello,
Mr.
Anthony.
B. Yeah. And Phil Barbados, one of our hosts, says, Van der Beek and De Jong don't play the same positions. They never did at Ajax. But I do think they can play any positions. They're very versatile. And
so
hold on.
Monday. I'm looking forward to a Monday.
Oh, God.
Yes, Mukta. Thank you, OS.
So Mukta says Solo is losing his mind. Does that mean
love that comment right there?
Is that because of comment right there?
Yeah, man. That has to be on Frankie.
Come on the show. Let's be great.
Oh,
anyway. Who you got?
Oh, let's do this. Let's just on Monday. You ready for yours now? Your choice.
I'm not really. I should have gone. Well, you've got my graphic up now, so I can't change.
Come on.
I can't change it now. This is embarrassing. All right, everyone knows me for the eye test. And as a centre back, I put in 2 centre backs that kind of impressed me during this tournament. I didn't really get the criteria right when we were selecting, but I'm going to start first with Pau Torres. We all know about Pau Torres, especially for Villarreal. He plays for Villarreal. He's a centre back. He's left-footed. He's just cool, composed, and very good on the ball. And when it comes to defending, he stays on his feet, and you don't really see him do anything like outstanding because his positional play, I think, over time, because we had time, he's been on our radar for a long time now. I've been studying the guy. His positional play is really good. And as we saw, he played against us and didn't pocket anybody, but he was just composed, baller. And it gives you a bit of balance when you've got a left-sided defender compared with Maguire. But Maguire does like playing on the left, funnily enough. But I like Pau Torres. It's not that I think he's a must. I still like Jules Koundé. And I still like, Varane. I don't think we should buy Varane. But I'm just watching him because he's in the tournament. I'm thinking Spain look comfortable. I think having someone like that so composed in the back will help us. When you look at, he reminds you of Laporte, who was French, but now he's Spanish, you know. I think the thing with Laporte, he's left-footed, he's a baller. And it gives you that sort of, it gives a lot of confidence in the team when you're playing at the back, that we're just comfortable on the ball. Because a lot of ball-playing defenders these days. So he ticks a lot of boxes for me. People might not say he's playing outstanding, but what do you want to see? I'm watching him as a defender, and I'm seeing, like I said, attributes like composure. You don't see him getting roasted. He doesn't go to ground. He's just picking up pieces. He shuffles people over, to their bad side, takes them out of the danger zone. Everything just really composed. And just remember, they didn't want to bring Sergio Ramos into the Spanish lineup, in the Spanish squad. So they must really rate this guy, and they know a lot about football. The Spanish do anyway. So yeah, that's Pau Torres. I know we all know about him. We've all spoken about him in the past, but he's someone I've looked at as a centre back. Next on my list is William Carvalho. Now, I would have put like Frankie de Jong. I would have put Locatelli because I was in two minds about putting Locatelli in there, but I didn't know Mr. B had thrown him in, but I would have preferred to put Locatelli in. You beat me to it, Mr. B. You've got a wise, better decision maker than me. William Carvalho is 29 years old. I've always liked this guy. Me and my brother Kahinde, we like to talk football, and we've always said William Carvalho is a brilliant player. He gets the ball, he plays it out his feet, 1-2 touch. He doesn't hang around. He's got no ego. He's one of these players who can play in that position. By the way, he's a centre midfielder or plays a bit deeper. He can come and get the ball off the defence, no problems. You can't rush him. Strong, ox, lean and wiry and strong. You can't rush him. You can't get the ball off him. He makes things tick over for you. And I'm looking at Man United. I think we need a player, not necessarily him. He's playing for Real Betis, by the way, now, but not necessarily him, but someone who. Oh, Miss Big Phil, how you doing? Not necessarily him, but someone who can play like Carvalho. So if we look at him, if anyone watches the Portugal games, how he plays his game, composed, he's not going to be flying with tackles. He just reads the game really well. And I've always liked him, like his attributes. 29 years old. If Real Betis is selling him, I would be interested because I think he does a lot better job than Fred and a lot better job than McTominay. But after this show now, after watching my boys and their selection, their scouting and their eye test, I realised, maybe Locatelli would be a better signing. And maybe definitely Frankie de Jong would be a better signing. So you guys have trumped me on that one. But I put Carvalho in strictly based on what he brings to the game, which I really like. So those are kind of attributes I'm looking for in a player going forward with Man United. And lastly, I'm going to keep it short because I don't really know much about this guy. So Holland, they've come into the tournament. They play like a club side. I keep saying that. That's why they're successful because they all know what to do. They've all been groomed at grassroots level, play in a certain way. So when they go to international level, they know exactly what they're doing. And this is why they look so exciting, so good, so fluid. And I was going to put, this is what I'm saying again, Mr. B beat me to it. He put the right back in. What's his name again? What's his name?
Denzel.
Denzel. You call him Denzel. Yeah. I like Denzel.
Denzel.
Yeah, man. Denzel. When we talk about Only Fools Horses or Washington?
Anyway.
Okay. Yeah, that's cooler. So when I've seen him play as a right back, he's out wide, hugging the touchline, and I've seen Holland play. He just plays 1-2 touch passing. There's no control on pass. It's like control, like ball comes into him, 1-2 touch out of his feet. I'm really impressed with him, and he scored from the back post the other day. So I'm like, wow, this guy's on my radar, you know. But then I realized he's 25 years old, and as Mr. B was saying, he hasn't played like 38 games a season. He's had 25, 23. That was the thing that just got me a little bit. But yeah, he's good. But there's a guy at Ajax, and his name is Timber. Okay, he's a lumberjack. He's a centre back. He's 20 years old. Virgil van Dijk ain't playing. So I'm thinking, oh, everyone's saying Holland would have problems. This guy just walked in and just like a duck to water. He's just played. And I'm saying, well, who's this guy playing the right of the free? Looking comfortable and everything else. When I check it, they said he's 20 years old. And I never heard of this guy before. You know, Ajax have an ability to bring in top players. Now, I'm not saying he might be a championship player, you know, but when you play in a good side, when you know everything what to do, he hasn't been ruffled, anything else. He's very technically good. He's just doing the right thing, sensible. I like him. And he keeps drawing me, you know, when they're playing, I keep getting drawn to him, you know, to say like, yeah, he's looking good. I like this guy. I don't know much about him, like I say, but that's someone I'm saying. This is a sort of example of Ajax, small nation, pound for pound, probably top of the ranking as regarding football. They have the reason I brought him in as well, because it's just an example to show England that it doesn't matter about age, you can still play players. Bellingham, for example, Sancho, you should be playing these guys. They can fit in. They know they're intelligent enough. They know what they're doing, you know. And Ajax and Holland have always been productive, as in bringing in these players and sell them on for big value. And they're always good players, you know. The one thing with Dutch players, they're always intelligent, and I think they can do it all. So I'm really impressed with Mr. Timber. And those are my three selections. Obviously, I'm getting outshone and trumped by two competitors. And it's just, what are these OS and Big Phil? They come on the show.
Studs up. Studs up. That's what it's about. Studs up.
Oh,
Hold on.
see we did.
Hold on.
Oh, my days.
Welcome, guys.
Getting rid of Martial and Rashford. Come on, man. Come on. Behave. You have to behave. Get rid of both of them. I mean, come on. What Ollie's doing, you can't be blaming these players. That's the number one thing. One thing I'm going to say is regarding you guys' list that you guys put together. I mean, there are some in there that, okay, are interesting, but there's some that, you know, De Jong, we're never going to get De Jong. Let's be real. You might as well put Messi in. We ain't getting De Jong. I wish we had him, but we won't. I looked at it two ways. One, priority. You know, what is the priority positions we need? And for me, right back is not a priority at all, like at all. And you guys were talking about what's his name, the Dutch guy, Dumfries.
Yeah.
Look at his agent. You really want to deal with that again? You really want to deal with that again? I mean, one thing we have to be careful is, you know, in these tournaments, sometimes players shine, and then, you know, we've had it before a lot of the times with Poborski and players like that, and you bring them in, and they fail when you bring them in. So we have to be careful. But one, priority, as I mentioned, and then two, experience. You know, I want experienced players, man. Like, we keep always talking about these young players. Yes, but we have young players all over our pitch. What we're missing is leaders. We're missing experienced players. So when we talk about, let's say, centre back, bring in Varane, man. If you can't bring in, I mean, Varane is my first choice. If you can't bring him in, then bring in, what's his name, Ramos. Ramos can give you another 2-3 years. I'm telling you, look what Silva is doing for Chelsea right now. I would love Ramos there. Torres, one of you mentioned Torres. That's a good shout. And I'll tell you why. Because Torres reminds me of a young Diaz. I mean, Diaz is young too, but he reminds me of that calm centre-back at the back that maybe would complement Maguire. So those three I can see. Right wing, I'm not listening to anybody. Sancho. That's all I'm saying. Anybody else. Sancho is coming. That's all I'm saying. And defensive midfield, which is, I would say, one of the most crucial parts. I think Locatelli is a good shout. He's not experienced, but you've already seen the maturity level that he brings to the team. And I think he could maybe bring that to Man United. Carvalho is not a bad shout. United have tried to get him in the past. He is experienced. I question how he would do in the Premier League, but that is not a bad shout as well. But I mean, those I would say right now are my shouts, because Sancho, bring him in. Rafinha, you know, Rafinha's not a bad shout. He knows the Premier League. He's young. and he's pretty aggressive in the way he plays. Bayern are not going to sell Gnabry. They're not going to sell him. Gnabry and
No, that was for a dig at Arsenal.
yeah, exactly. That's like the next winger for them for the next 10 years. I mean, they're never going to get rid of him. So that's why, I think we have to be smart. What players can we bring in? Priority for me and experience are the two biggest things. Now, I know Big Phil has come on, and I know Big Phil has got something to say as well. Big Phil, don't let me down, bruv. Do not let me down. Go.
We're in trouble. We're in trouble, man.
Yep, the chest is out, everyone. The chest is out. He's got your chest out.
First things first, right? A good show on Denzel Dumfries. He would provide competition for Wan-Bissaka. To Locatelli, ask yourself this question, right? He has been balling for Italy, right? But what's the chances of an Italian player coming to the Premier League? One, and two, Man United, have they ever done well with Italian players? You look at Federico Macheda, you look at Giuseppe Rossi, you look at Massimo Taibi, all three guys who flopped in the Premier League, right? So I like Locatelli, but I'm going to dismiss that because he's an Italian player that is not going to leave Italy to come and play in the Premier League. Let's get that out there, right? Serge Gnabry, I honestly do not see Bayern Munich selling him. He's a good shout, but as OS mentioned, I think Sancho right now is the better option, right? Let's go to William Carvalho. I would have preferred him when he was at Sporting Lisbon, when he was a bit younger. But if we're going to sign him at 29 years old, it's another Nemanja Matic all over again, right? Because within the next 2 to 3 years, we're going to have to look for another central defensive midfielder. Good shout, but I think we can do better. Say that again?
You're blowing my buzz.
No, it's okay. With Paul Torres, right? Paul Torres is playing in a team that has 99.5% possession, right? Almost the same as Pablo Escobar, right? I want to see if he will actually fit inside of Manchester United's team, because we're not a possession team, right? We're not a team that is going to go to grounds and have this 70% possession and whatnot, right? So he looks good in that Spanish national side. How will he be tested against a France or a Belgium, or even in the World Cup against a Brazil or Argentina, right? If I had to go to Jurriën Timber, I haven't seen any of him. He's only 19 years old, but in my opinion, I would go for a more experienced center back in Jules Koundé, in my opinion, who I doubt he will ever see any start for France in this Euros, because Varane is ahead of him. Kimpembe is ahead of him, and there are at least one or two other defenders are ahead of him right now, right? Frankie de Jong is being tutored by Sergio Busquets and Lionel Messi. He is not leaving Barcelona anytime soon. Not anytime soon, right? Alexander Isaac, definite baller. But I definitely would not sell the entire Manchester United squad solo just to get sell McTominay, sell Martial, sell Ole Solskjaer. I mean, like, oh my God, we will have a fire sale every single season, right? The realistic shouts in this here, in my opinion, would be Dumfries, Koundé, and maybe Paul Torres. Those are a few realistic ones. However, I have three players that I think may fit United well, right? They're all three midfielders. One, Dennis Zakaria. He plays as a central defensive midfielder. Dennis Zakaria is one.
Yeah. Ryan
Graffenberg, who plays for Hull.
My boy.
He plays for Ajax, and he definitely is a baller, right? He can slot in front of the front four and do a job, right? And this may come as a surprise, but I'm going to say Jude Bellingham.
Woo. I would love him at our club. I swear to God. You know what?
Jude Bellingham,
when I saw Jude Bellingham's attitude versus Manchester City in the Champions League, I was like, okay, The guy isn't scared.
He's a
The guy
baller.
isn't scared. I mean, like, at 17, 18 years old, you're fearless, right? But I would rather get that out of him now than when he's like 25, 26, maybe when he's just looking for maybe like a payday, right? So those are just my 3 per se.
Mm-hmm.
Really good. Really good. Yeah.
I'm gonna say, Phil. Do you know what? You did good there. You know, I can't. I'm trying to work. I could give you a slide tackle, but right now, I'm letting you nutmeg me, bro, because
Good one.
We had to come on. We had to come on, man. We had to come
You know
on.
what? Wait, Solar, I want a word. Remember, right? This is your life. You see him in the background talking, yeah. Oh yeah, I remember when we were young, blah blah. And then they come on the show. It's like that's big time. Good one.
So OS. So from tournament, obviously Phil's given us a 3. Who would you have? Obviously, tournament wise, player wise, who's impressed you
From the tournament right now, from the Euro tournament? I mean, of course, Dumfries has really, really impressed me. I just see it being a very difficult deal. I think a lot of teams are going to be after him now. He's like the hype right back.
Apparently Everton are interested, so
yeah, I mean, if Everton are interested, we should be able to get him. But the only difference is Everton may promise him first team football, whereas we can't really promise that because of Wan-Bissaka. So that's the only issue. But the thing is, the way this guy goes forward, he'll probably be one of the best attacking right backs in the Premier League with Trent, for example. So would we want to deal with that agent again? I don't know, man. Like we're struggling right now. That kills me. It kills me, man. So Dumfries, I would say, it's really one who's really impressed me. Locatelli's another one that has really, really impressed me in the competition. Of course, Isaac, everybody has been impressed by him, but I don't think we need him right now. That's the thing. Like, I think we need to look at the centre-back position. Pau Torres, I won't say he has impressed me in the tournament right now because Spain look really shaky, I think, in the back. But defensively, I would say, we can't get him, but I really, really love Kimpembe. I think Kimpembe is a solid centre back. Solid. This guy's aggressive. He's a warrior.
PSG?
He's PSG, and he's trying to get Pogba into PSG, So why would he come to Man United when he's trying to take Pogba over there? So I think those are the players in the positions we need that I feel have improved the best in the Euros right now.
Solo, question for you. Would you change any of your
You know what? I'm not going to lie. I'm going to stick with my pick. And you know why I'm going to stick with it is the fact is, how much longer can we sit there and give Martial, the ride? He's on the coattail. We're just giving him a ride on the coattail at the moment rather than actually believe the goods for Man United. We are Manchester United. Some of these players we've spoke about today, we should be able to deliver them because we are Man United. It's not a case of always at Barcelona shouldn't. There's rumours about Paul Pogba might be signing a contract on £400,000 a week. If Pogba is doing that, come on, man, let's go out. Let's get these boys. Like, I don't feel saying we'd be having a sale if I was in charge. But that's the thing.
We get rid of Martial this summer. I'm going to do a show in a week.
But just to add,
don't wish it.
But just to add to that, and what you said about Solo, what you said about Martial, for example, when has he done this? When has he done that? One of the guys that you guys love so much is Paul Pogba. Yeah, Paul Pogba is supposed to be world class, even though I don't think he's world class, but he's supposed to be world class and this and that.
When he's not world class and he's won everything for Juventus, he's won everything for France. How is he not world class?
Paul Pogba's not world class. To be world class,
not world class.
Let me explain. To be world class,
name 10 midfielders better than Paul Pogba right now.
Let me.
No. Name 10 midfielders that are better than Paul Pogba right now.
Name you how many?
10. 10 midfielders.
Oh my God! So are you telling me in your scale to be world class, you need to have 10 players better than you? Is that what you're saying?
You're avoiding the question. You're avoiding it.
Let me tell you this.
Go on.
But to be world class, He needs to be consistent. He has to. Like we've been given, I'm one of the biggest Paul Pogba fans. I am one of the biggest. And if you see some of my other groups that I'm in, I'm one of the only ones that stick up for him. But if you see Paul Pogba, his attitude and also the consistency of when he plays well, it's just not enough. Like Martial, you say the same thing with Martial, and I agree with you. Consistency is not there, but if you're going to have that energy for Martial, you have to have that energy for Paul Pogba. You have to. Because what do you mean how? Because Paul Pogba, if anything, I said this before, Martial has given us more at Manchester United than Paul Pogba has.
In terms of what?
In terms of performances, in terms of consistency, in terms of goals, in terms of changing games for us. Prove that wrong right now.
I don't have to because I will not sit down here and entertain this here.
Let me show you this.
Tony Martial is making more of a difference.
Oh, he's called his studs up. He called his studs up. We got let's see.
He's injured.
He's injured.
Get the magic sponge on. Magic sponge for Phil.
You remember that season that Martial was top scorer for us?
Last season.
Yep.
Well,
So
season
the season before, exactly. There was that season. Do you remember the season he came when he scored on his debut against Liverpool?
Yeah, great
So
goal.
for me, these two seasons are the best seasons Martial has had for Manchester United. You guys agree?
No.
Yes.
What do you mean no? What other season has he had better than those two seasons?
Well, I don't agree with your whole argument at Martial.
No, we're talking about now. We're talking about now.
So 2 out of 6.
Okay, am I right or am I wrong? Like those two seasons are the
yeah, you're right.
All right, cool. Name me one season at Manchester United where Paul Pogba has had the same type of effect with Manchester United. Don't worry about your love for him, for France and for Juventus. I'm talking about Manchester United. I'm a Manchester United fan. You know what I mean? So for Man United, name me one season where he has been good for 80% of the season. I'm not even going to ask for 100%. I'm not going to ask for 90. Actually, you know what? Put 80% out the window. 70%. Show me one season. If you can do that for me, then okay, I'll step back. But if you can't, how can you tell me that Paul Pogba has been more effective for Manchester United than Martial has? I'm not saying Martial is better than Pogba. I'm not saying that. I'm saying who has given Manchester United more, Martial or Paul Pogba?
Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question now. Show me a season where Paul Pogba has had the best supporting cast than he has right now. Show me a season where the manager had loved Paul Pogba, right? Show me where Paul Pogba has played in his exact position for Manchester United. Martial has always played in his exact position for Manchester United. Paul Pogba has been injured. Paul Pogba has been disliked by Jose Mourinho. Paul Pogba is now starting to find the form under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, okay? End of story, okay? That's all.
Paul Pogba and Mourinho were good friends at the beginning of Mourinho's reign. Everybody knows this. I don't know. I don't get where this story comes from that Paul Pogba, at the end of the reign, it became sour. We all saw it. But at the beginning, Paul Pogba, Ibrahimovic, and Mourinho were best friends. It was clear. Like he was.
How long did that last?
Let me finish. And Paul Pogba also played in every single position you're talking about right now. We've played Paul Pogba in a diamond. We've played Paul Pogba on the left side in the front. We've played Paul Pogba in a defensive low back position. We've played Paul Pogba. The only thing missing is playing him in goal or up front. That's the only thing missing right now. So I'm not going to lie to you guys. I'm tired sticking up for Paul Pogba right now about what position should he play in, what's the best thing for him. It feels like we're always trying to make it fit for him. I agree with you guys 100% that the manager and the coaching is not helping nothing in the team, nothing. But when we look at underneath that umbrella, who has actually given us more than who? And Martial, for me, I've come out of seasons where I've been happy with Martial's delivery in that season, like the season where he was top scorer and also the first season he came. Paul Pogba, I haven't had one season where I've come out and I said, you know what?
Who was our most influential player in us lifting the Europa League?
Ibrahimovic.
Really?
The whole run, Ibrahimovic. Are you mad? Ibrahimovic.
Really?
Yes.
Ibrahimovic.
Yes. Paul
The
Pogba.
guy who's on crutches.
Our two most influential players in the Europa League were Henrik Mkhitaryan and Paul Pogba. For God's sake,
Are you talking about who scored? You're talking about one goal. Come on, you're talking about one goal, which was a
You know what?
Solo.
Studs up.
Say,
Studs
right,
up.
OS.
Oh,
I must be
really?
fair. Let's be fair here. OS is delivering a good argument. I'm kind of like zoomed and like looking for my notepad and everything else. You know, I need to do my homework and come back with a counter for that because he disrespected Paul Pogba on our show. We all know Pogba is world class. Okay? As Big Bill said, there are limited players that are better than him. You know, even Tony Cruz the other day, I was saying, boy, you're balling better than Tony Cruz, and Tony Cruz is
we all know
players. So I'm going to say this now. I'm going to go away and respect your argument and come back with a counter argument. But the thing is, you caught me on the spot now. I'm like stumbling and I don't know what to say.
Yo.
You know, so I'm going to go away, do my homework, and come back with you.
I love Pogba. I'm telling you, thank you. I love Pogba.
Right.
Let's be real. Let's look at Solo. Put me on Solo. Put me on Solo screen right now. Screen right now. Thank you. Good. We have looked at Paul Pogba's career at Manchester United, right? The guy has been playing with the likes of Marwan Fellaini, Jesse Lingard, right? You put a Rolls Royce to play with BMXs. That can never, ever happen, right? The guy has been also injured as well. Too, who cares about Martial? He can get schooled. I don't care. He can get schooled. Anyway. Paul Pogba has not also been played in his rightful position for Manchester United. Okay, you said that you said that Jose Mourinho and Paul Pogba were friends at the beginning right? But what's the most recent transaction between Paul Pogba and Jose Mourinho? Right? Isn't this the same Paul Pogba that came out and defended Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and threw Jose Mourinho under the bus? If that's my friend, I don't want any enemies. I don't. Right? That's the second thing. Third thing. Let it go back to the Europa League final. Not the one just now, but the one that we won under Jose Mourinho, where Zlatan Ibrahimovic was also injured. And the two players that stood out for us in that campaign were Paul Pogba and Henrik Mkhitaryan. If you do not see that, I will buy you some. I will give you a discount at Specsavers come Christmas time. Okay, I will do that for you. Right?
I would love that.
Paul Pogba. Okay, Juventus, France is different for Paul Pogba at Manchester United for so many reasons. He is not being played in his position, and he also is being backed by a supporting cast at France with Tolisso and Matuidi and N'Golo Kante.
Yeah.
So the only player
at Juventus, he was backed by Vidal, Pirlo, Marquisio.
That's a wrap, Big Phil.
He's been backed by Jesse Lingard. He's been backed by Andres Pereira, McTominay. Fred, are they even on the same level as Vidal, Marquisio, Kante, Tolisso, or any of these guys that play for France? Or I will always go back. Will Smith for Fresh Prince of Bel-Air was a great actor. Will Smith for I Am Legend, The Dogs and the Zombies, piss poor movie. And that's what
don't make sense.
I will always go with that. Okay? You cannot sit here and tell me that there's a better midfielder in the Premier League other than Kevin De Bruyne. Name me other midfielders in the Premier League.
Bruno Fernandes has been better.
Bruno Fernandes is overrated. Okay, let's get that in there. Okay?
It can be, but he's
Bruno Fernandes is the most overrated and inconsistent player at Manchester United. I've been saying this since we signed him.
Are you listening to this? Are you guys listening to this?
That is the most inconsistent and overrated player at Manchester United.
Let me just say something.
Nobody tells me.
Let me just say something.
Overrated and inconsistent. Bruno Fernandes is not a game changer. The guy has done nothing for the last 3 months at Manchester United. Nothing. Paul Pogba has done more.
We're going to wrap up. So go on.
Paul Pogba has done more.
Okay. Let me just
Finish it
try
off,
and
please.
untangle this. So Bruno Fernandes is the most overrated player at Man United. Okay, if that's your opinion, fine. Woo! If you were to choose the influence that Bruno Fernandes had on Man United and the influence that Pogba has had on all of his career at Man United, it's no competition. So already your argument is flawed there. Yeah. Second thing I was going to say is you keep saying Paul Pogba in the Europa League final was the guy for us. He was this, but look at Mkhitaryan. Mkhitaryan scored as well. He was garbage for Man United. So your argument there flawed
No,
again.
I said in the Europa League campaign, not the final.
Okay.
The entire Europa League campaign.
Okay, so if you say the campaign, then it's Ibrahimovic who has been much more influential than Paul Pogba.
No, he hasn't.
Go back and look. Go and look.
I don't need to.
Guys,
I
I
don't
gotta
need
stop
to.
here. I gotta stop because we came well off topic for the last 10 minutes. But listen, well done, guys. It's representing the badge.
It's a pleasure, Nico. It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure.
It's a pleasure. This is why the Studs Up. Unfortunately, guys, we did go off topic a little bit, but this is the Studs Up show, and this is what it's about. So, guys, let's hit some comments because I've been laughing. I'm crying because some of these comments, but that was really good, guys. Absolutely amazing. And thank you so much for coming on. Thank you.
Let's go. All right.
He's coming. Where's yours, Big Phil? Big Phil normally has this thing. It's up. He's ready.
It's over there. But for right now, I could give this to you.
Like it, Daddy. Big Phil, Mr. B's backing you earlier. He was saying, "Preach, brother." We got Mr. K saying, "I'm not an Arsenal fan. I'm a Man United fan. Actually, that's why I'm on this show." Let's go, Mr. K. Saying I had a solid selection. I think it was poor compared to these guys. Priority is Ed. Is that saying Fred? The priority is that position Ed is leaving from. What's that mean? It defines all selection based on the club DNA. Yeah. Does anyone understand that? Not me.
Not really.
Smash those likes. Now we've got Matty coming on. Our brethren, Matty from Football United TV. We should everyone tune in and subscribe to Football United TV. They're covering international football all around the world. He's saying, "Big Phil, we need to talk." What he's saying there, man. He's saying, "Big up, yeah. I did yam some nice food. I'm cooking again right now. You know, if you could smell my yard, the smell could come through the screen. Everyone would be knocking on the door right now." Play Pogba as Spurs manager. Mr. K.
He's got a Spurs thing today, ain't he?
We eat roast. Okay, so we go big up everyone. All the big ups to the panel because we're delivering today. Fred, now this is interesting. Matt, who does Copa America, covers the whole Copa America. He said Fred has been named as the best player of the Copa America so far.
He's been on fire.
It's a true
fire.
Yeah.
Wow.
Don't start Mr. B off.
No.
Yeah, I don't have time.
Fred.
And also, Matt saying the comments speak volumes about Fred, similar to Pogba, better for the national team. Hi, Gems again, saying, what about the Hungarians, Paul Scholes?
Oh, here we go. Leave out.
Talking about that guy, yeah, they keep talking about him being the Hungarian Paul Scholes. It's too funny.
And out of the selections, you should be our scouting manager from now on. Scouting assignment scouts, Mr. B. I'm going to recommend you to put a good reference into Man United because, yeah, you did live in your selection.
And big up my barber. Big up.
Can you pass Kundi's details onto your barber as well, Mr. B? Yeah. Hey, guys, wicked selection.
Very good.
We did come off comments as well.
Yeah, thank you. We did come off topic a little bit, guys, but listen, this is Studs Up Show. We're allowed to do that. This is the only show you come off topic on. But thank you all for watching tonight. Tune in. And like we said, it was a selection with a twist. A lot of people out there thought we were going to be talking about the Euros and players within the Euro, but unfortunately, it was about players that we believe could come in Man United and the eye test, as what Mr. On Monday would say, and Mr. B would say, we don't like Fred or the Welsh Flash. But yeah, I think we're going to wrap it up there, guys. But it's absolutely been a pleasure. Please make sure you hit that like, subscribe, and we will be back here on Wednesday night with another show. And I'm sure it'll be entertaining as well. Thank you for watching.